5 of them have come ashore. Lady Bell and Gus are still on the island. Apparently Lady Bell still has a couple of eggs there, but a couple of them were broken. And it's getting a little bit late in the season. I think they may not be fertilized. Too soon to say for sure, but doesn't look like we'll have a new one this year, unfortunately. But everybody else seems to be doing good. Hey Al. This is Al and his new girlfriend, who thankfully no longer attacks me on sight. It didn't take too long. Hello. That is Sammy on the left and behind. And joined at the hip is Todd. And there's old gal right there. She just poked me in the arm. She's got a scrawny neck. Hey, be nice. Hello. I had them landed over on the other side there. It's a little more easier to interact with them, but the city lawn mowers scared the crap out of them. They just all fled and jumped into the water. I don't know what spooked them now. They're all gone now. Ducks as well. The ducks kind of use the geese as cover. They know they'll be safe as long as they're close to them, it seems. It's past, whatever it was. Here comes Sammy. What's up, Sam? Hello. Buddy. Still won't let me. If you look at some of the older videos, Sam used to crouch right up against me and let me pet him, and to the point where he got so relaxed he would fall right, or she would fall right asleep. But ever since growing up and the few months apart at Hope for Wildlife, she's a little more reticent. Still lets me scratch every once in a while, but there's a little more. It's not as bad as some of them. Some of them will just like absolutely flee if you try. She'll let me get a couple scratches in and then just kind of back away a little bit. Same. No. What's up, Todd? Definitely miss Margaret. Oh, I should mention, I think I made a Facebook post about this, but I don't think I mentioned it in any of the videos. So there was a mix-up with Margaret, my favorite goose, the one that would let me just sit there and scratch her for days. So there was a mix-up because she was getting picked on by the other geese. So the people at the wildlife refuge where these guys spend the winter thought that she wasn't one of the flock that comes back to Sullivan's Pond here. They thought it was one of theirs that they had year-round, or that they were taken care of. So she missed the bus basically out to the pond this year. But good news is they paired her with another female, and they're getting along great apparently, so she's doing well. They did try, and I I warned them it probably wouldn't work out too well. They tried pairing Margaret with the old alpha, the one that had to be removed. They call him Bruiser at Hope for Wildlife. I call him Steve. But he has a new girlfriend, and the threesome didn't really work out too well, so they had to remove Margaret from that group. But like I said, they found another female that gets along swimmingly with. I don't know if they'll ever make it back here, what with Margaret getting picked on by the other geese. I'm not really sure what that's about. The other goose, Todd, see, Steve, Margaret, and Todd were all part of a flock of 3 that came together to the pond about 3 years ago, and they basically started a war because Steve wanted to be the alpha of the entire group. They were their own separate flock. Actually, they lived here on these smaller islands, whereas the main flock spends the night on the big island with the lighthouse. And there we and there's a little kind of doghouse type thing, enclosure that they go inside as well. And Steve wanted to be the alpha of the whole group, so he started a war. It took place over on the grass right over there. I came by one afternoon and there were like hundreds of feathers everywhere. And so with Margaret and Todd being part of that group, and Margaret getting picked on and Todd coming back this season with a ton, like probably a quarter of his feathers missing, I'm wondering if the rest of the flock isn't still holding a grudge against them, and that's why there's the animosity towards them. It's hard to say, because the other thing that Todd did is took a liking to Sam very early, and Sam is by no means an adult goose yet, so it may very well just been Gus, Sam's father, letting him know that he was acting inappropriately towards his daughter. I'm not sure what happened there, because it was during the winter while they were at Hope for Wildlife. But anyways, his feathers have grown back, and I don't see any aggression in between them while they're here. So the other possibility is that it's Steve that attacks Todd when he's at Hope for Wildlife, because Todd was very much Steve's beta. He would just out of nowhere just start attacking Todd, just taking his aggression randomly on him. So it's possible that Steve and Todd get reunited at Hope in the winter, and Steve is none too pleased about having been removed from the flock, and so he just takes it out on Todd when they're back together in the winter. It's hard to say. This year Todd came back with a ton of feathers missing, and the year before that he came back with a scar under one of his eyes, so he's definitely taking a bruising when he's there for the winter. Anyways, probably 10 minutes or something, 7 minutes. They're not in a huge rush to interact. They sit around here for quite a while and just sunbathe and preen, which is arranging their feathers in the right way so they remain waterproof. Try and lure them up onto the grass after a little bit.